Have you ever wondered why some medals of Saint Benedict seem to bring peace and protection, while others appear to have no effect at all? What if I told you that the very medal sitting in your home right now, the one you believe is protecting you, might actually be attracting negative energies instead of repelling them? Today, I'm going to share with you a critical warning that Padre Pio, one of the most powerful mystics of our time, left for those who keep the medal of Saint Benedict in their homes. This revelation is so important that it could completely transform the spiritual energy of your home and family. You see, Padre Pio understood something profound about sacred objects that most people overlook. He witnessed firsthand how this particular medal, when used incorrectly, could become not just ineffective, but potentially harmful. And yet, when used properly, it becomes one of the most powerful tools of spiritual protection available to believers. Before we continue, if you have a Saint Benedict medal in your home right now, write in the comments, "Saint Benedict, shield my home." This simple act of faith begins the process of properly engaging with this powerful sacramental. The warning I'm about to share with you isn't meant to frighten, but to empower. Because once you understand what Padre Pio revealed about the proper use of this ancient medal, you'll be able to unlock its true protective power, a power that has been documented in countless testimonies throughout history. Stay with me until the end, because the final revelation about this medal is the most important of all. And it's something that could radically change how you experience spiritual protection in your daily life. This isn't just about avoiding negative influences. It's about inviting profound blessings into every corner of your existence. The medal of Saint Benedict is not merely a decorative religious item. It's one of the oldest and most powerful sacramentals recognized by the Church, with a history stretching back to the 6th century. On its surface, this simple medal carries ancient symbols and Latin inscriptions that many possess without fully understanding their profound significance. Saint Benedict of Nursia, the father of Western monasticism, was known for his miraculous power against evil and his ability to overcome temptation. Legend tells us that when enemies tried to poison him, he made the sign of the cross over the poisoned cup, and it shattered instantly. This power against evil is embedded in every authentic medal bearing his image. The medal itself shows Saint Benedict holding his rule in one hand and the cross in the other. Around the edge are Latin letters, each representing powerful prayers of exorcism and protection. For centuries, believers have used this medal to guard their homes, protect travelers, bless the sick, and repel spiritual attacks. But here lies the danger that Padre Pio warned about. In our modern world, many have come to view the medal as a type of spiritual good luck charm, something that works automatically, regardless of how it's used or the spiritual disposition of the person using it. Maria from Mexico City discovered this truth the hard way. Despite having several Saint Benedict medals placed throughout her home, she continued to experience unexplained disturbances, nightmares, and a persistent sense of heaviness. "I couldn't understand it," she recounted. "I had the medals, but things seemed to be getting worse, not better." What Maria didn't realize, what many don't understand, is that Padre Pio identified specific conditions that must be met for the medal to fulfill its sacred purpose. Without these, the medal remains just a piece of metal, incapable of channeling divine protection. In some cases, as Padre Pio observed, an improperly used medal might even become a point of spiritual vulnerability rather than strength. This is why understanding Padre Pio's warnings is so crucial. He wasn't just an ordinary priest, he was a man who bore the wounds of Christ, who could read souls, and who battled directly with demonic forces. His insights came not from theological speculation, but from direct spiritual combat and divine revelation. As we explore these warnings together, I invite you to examine your own relationship with this powerful sacramental. Are you experiencing its full protective power, or could there be something blocking its effectiveness in your life and home? The first and perhaps most critical warning from Padre Pio concerns medals that lack proper blessing. This revelation may shock many of you who have medals at home right now. A medal without a proper blessing, Padre Pio would tell his spiritual children, is like a soldier without weapons, present but unable to fight. In his many years of spiritual warfare, Padre Pio encountered numerous situations where people complained that their religious objects seemed to offer no protection. Almost invariably, upon investigation, he discovered the same fundamental problem. The items had never been properly blessed by a priest. This isn't merely a formal requirement or an empty tradition. When a priest blesses a saint, Benedict medal, he invokes specific powerful prayers that activate its spiritual properties. The blessing ceremony is, in essence, a form of minor exorcism, dedicating the medal to divine service and removing it from ordinary, secular use. Without this crucial step, the medal remains spiritually inert. Consider what happened to Antonio, a businessman from Brazil. For years, he carried a Saint Benedict medal in his wallet, believing it would protect him from harm. Yet he found himself experiencing unusual misfortunes and a sense of being spiritually attacked. During a chance encounter with a knowledgeable priest, the truth emerged. His medal had never been blessed. It was simply a manufactured object, devoid of spiritual activation. I felt foolish, Antonio recalled. I'd been trusting in something that hadn't been prepared for its spiritual purpose. It was like thinking a disconnected phone could make calls. Padre Pio was particularly concerned about mass-produced medals sold in gift shops and online stores. These medals are manufactured by the thousands and shipped directly to consumers without any blessing, yet people bring them into their homes, expecting divine protection from what is, spiritually speaking, just a piece of metal. Even more troubling to Padre Pio was the reality that objects dedicated to sacred purposes, when left without blessing, can sometimes become entry points for negative influences. Nature abhors a vacuum, he would say, and this applies to the spiritual realm as well. An object intended for divine protection but not properly consecrated to that purpose exists in a kind of spiritual limbo, marked for sacred use but not empowered for it. The solution is straightforward but essential. Take your medal to a Catholic priest and ask for it to be blessed. Most priests will happily perform this blessing, which takes only a few minutes. Some may use the specific blessing for a saint. Benedict medal, which dates back to 1742 and includes special prayers of exorcism. Others may use a more general blessing, which is still effective. If you discover that your medal has never been blessed, don't panic. Simply acknowledge the oversight and make arrangements to have it blessed properly. This single act could transform an ordinary piece of metal into a powerful channel of divine protection for you and your loved ones. As you contemplate the powerful insights from Padre Pio about the Saint Benedict medal, you might feel called to deepen your understanding of spiritual protection even further. That's why we've created a special ebook, The Spiritual Secrets of Saint Padre Pio, which expands on these teachings and offers powerful prayers, reflections, and practical guidance for strengthening your spiritual defenses. This resource isn't just about information, it's about transformation. Inside, you'll discover Padre Pio's most effective prayers for protection, his guidance for discerning spiritual influences, and practical ways to incorporate his wisdom into your daily life. Many readers have shared how this material has brought newfound peace and spiritual security to their homes. If today's message resonates with you, consider taking the next step in your spiritual journey. The link to this life-changing resource is pinned in the comments below. Remember, as Padre Pio taught, true protection comes through knowledge combined with faith and proper practice. Now let's continue with our exploration of Padre Pio's crucial warnings about the Saint Benedict medal. The second warning. Padre Pio emphasized concerns the mysterious inscriptions on the saint. Benedict medal, symbols and letters that many owners never bother to understand. Yet according to Padre Pio, This ignorance significantly diminishes the medal's efficacy. To use a medal without understanding its inscriptions, Padre Pio once told a troubled woman seeking his counsel, is like having a powerful medicine but not knowing the correct dosage. The potential for healing exists, but it cannot fulfill its purpose. Look closely at your St. Benedict medal. Around its edge, you'll find a series of letters that appear cryptic to modern eyes. C, S, P, B. On the vertical beam of the cross, and around the margin, the letters V, R, S, N, S, M, V, S, M, Q, L, I, V, B. Each letter represents the first letter of words in Latin prayers and commands against evil. The C, S, P, B stands for Crux Sancti Patris Benedicti, or the Cross of the Holy Father Benedict. The letters surrounding the medal translate to a powerful exorcism prayer. May the Holy Cross be my light. May the dragon never be my guide. Begone, Satan, never tempt me with your vanities. What you offer is evil. Drink your own poison. These aren't merely decorative elements or ancient curiosities. They are spiritual armaments, verbal weapons against darkness that have been used for centuries. When Padre Pio counseled people on using the medal effectively, he insisted they learn and periodically recite these prayers, understanding what they were invoking. Elizabeth, a teacher from Chicago, shared her transformative experience. For years, I wore the medal as a family tradition, not thinking much about the strange letters on it. After learning their meaning and beginning to pray them consciously, I noticed a remarkable difference in my spiritual life, particularly in moments when I felt under attack or temptation. It was as if knowing the meaning activated something that was dormant before. Padre Pio explained that when we understand and consciously engage with these inscriptions, we align our intention with the spiritual purpose of the medal. We become active participants rather than passive wearers. This conscious partnership between the human and the divine is what makes the medal truly effective. He would often guide people to trace their finger along the letters of the medal while reciting their meaning, a practice that connects physical touch, visual recognition, and verbal declaration. This multisensory engagement strengthens our spiritual resolve and focuses our intention. Father Marco, who worked closely with Padre Pio, recounted how the mystical priest would sometimes hold a person's Saint Benedict medal in his stigmatized hands and ask, "Do you know what power you carry? Do you understand the words inscribed here?" Many had to admit they did not, which became a teaching moment about the importance of knowing our spiritual tools. If you've owned a Saint Benedict medal without understanding its inscriptions, take time to learn them, write them down, meditate on their meaning. When you handle your medal, do so with conscious awareness of these powerful declarations against evil. This simple practice will transform your relationship with this sacramental and significantly enhance its protective qualities in your life. Perhaps the most profound of Padre Pio's warnings about the St. Benedict medal concerns our inner disposition. In his spiritual counseling, he repeatedly emphasized that the medal's effectiveness depends greatly on the faith and intention of the person using it. No, the medal is not magical, Padre Pio firmly told a group of pilgrims who had come seeking special blessings for their religious objects. Its power flows from faith, not from the object itself. This distinction is crucial and often misunderstood in our modern world, where we tend to place our trust in things rather than in the divine reality they represent. Padre Pio observed that many people approach sacramentals like the St. Benedict medal with what he called a materialistic spirituality, treating holy objects as if they worked automatically, regardless of the user's spiritual state. This approach, he warned, borders on superstition and can actually nullify the medal's protective properties. Consider the profound difference between these two attitudes. The first person hangs a St. Benedict medal by their door, thinking, "This object will protect me no matter what." The second person places the same medal with the prayer, "I trust that through this blessed symbol, God will extend his protection over my home as I strive to live faithfully. The first approach treats the medal almost like a spiritual technology that functions independently of relationship with God. The second recognizes the medal as a channel of grace that works in harmony with personal faith. Sophia from Argentina shared her realization about this truth. I had medals throughout my house, but was living in ways contrary to faith. I somehow expected the medals to protect me while I made choices that opened spiritual doors to negativity. Padre Pio's teaching helped me understand that the medal isn't a substitute for faithful living, it's a complement to it. This insight connects to Padre Pio's frequent teaching that spiritual protection isn't just about defending against external forces. It begins with our internal choices. The most powerful protection comes when the medal's external presence aligns with an internal commitment to spiritual integrity. The medal, Padre Pio explained, is like a shield in battle. But even the finest shield cannot protect a soldier who refuses to use it properly or who deliberately walks into enemy territory. He would often use the analogy of a lightning rod to explain this principle. A lightning rod doesn't prevent lightning from striking. Rather, it provides a safe pathway for the electricity to travel, protecting the building. Similarly, the medal doesn't necessarily prevent spiritual challenges from approaching, but when used with faith, it helps channel divine protection that guides these forces away from causing harm. During spiritual direction sessions, Padre Pio would sometimes ask people to hold their medal and examine their conscience. When you touch this medal, do you feel connected to the saint it represents? Do you strive to embody the virtues he exemplified? Or do you expect the object to do all the spiritual work while you remain unchanged? For those discovering that they've been approaching their medal with a superstitious or magical mindset, Padre Pio offered reassurance along with correction. It's never too late to align your heart with your practices, he would say. You begin today to use your medal with conscious faith, and its effectiveness will grow accordingly. Try this practice that Padre Pio recommended. When you touch or look at your saint, Benedict medal, take a moment for a brief prayer, acknowledging that its power comes from God, not from the metal itself. Express your trust in divine protection and your commitment to living faithfully. This simple act transforms the medal from a passive object into an active reminder of your spiritual connection and intentions. Padre Pio's fourth warning addresses the practical aspects of where and how to place the St. Benedict medal for maximum spiritual effectiveness. Through his mystical insights and years of spiritual warfare experience, he developed specific guidance that many find surprising. 1. The placement of the medal is not arbitrary. Padre Pio would instruct those who sought his counsel. Certain locations in your home serve as spiritual thresholds where protection is most needed. According to his teachings, these strategic points require special attention. First among these are entryways, doors and windows, which Padre Pio described as portals, where spiritual influences, both positive and negative, can enter our living spaces. He strongly recommended placing Blessed Saint Benedict medals above the main entrance door and other key access points to the home. Some of his spiritual children reported that he even advised them to discreetly bury medals in the soil near the four corners of their property, creating a kind of spiritual perimeter of protection. Isabella from Mexico City followed this advice during a time when her family was experiencing inexplicable disturbances. As we placed medals above each doorway in our home, especially focusing on the main entrance and the doors to our children's bedrooms, she recounted. Within days, the atmosphere changed completely. The heaviness lifted, and everyone began sleeping peacefully again. Beyond physical placement, Padre Pio also gave instruction on how the medal should be handled and used. Unlike many religious items that are primarily decorative, the Saint Benedict medal was designed for active spiritual use. Padre Pio taught that occasionally the medal should be held during prayer, particularly when praying for protection or when feeling spiritually vulnerable. For those experiencing particular spiritual attacks or disturbances in certain areas of their homes, Padre Pio recommended a simple but powerful practice: holding the blessed medal while walking through the troubled space, praying the medal's inscriptions aloud, and making the sign of the cross in each corner of the room. This practice, which combines physical movement, verbal declaration, and sacred symbolism, creates what he called a dynamic engagement with the medal's protective properties. When you actively use the medal in prayer, Padre Pio explained, you are not just benefiting from the blessing upon the object, but you are also awakening and directing your own faith, which is a powerful spiritual force in itself. Padre Pio was particularly concerned about bedrooms, especially those of children, knowing that the sleeping state can sometimes leave people more vulnerable to spiritual influences. He advised parents to place medals near their children's beds, not to instill fear, but to create an environment of spiritual safety where restful sleep could occur. Robert, a father of 3 from Canada, shared, "After learning about Padre Pio's recommendations, we placed blessed medals near our children's beds. Our youngest had been having terrible nightmares that left him afraid to go to sleep. Within a week of placing the medal, the nightmares stopped completely. When I asked him if he was sleeping better, he simply said, 'The bad dreams can't get past the special medal.'" For personal protection outside the home, Padre Pio encouraged carrying a blessed medal, but with an important caveat: it should be carried with awareness, not just as a forgotten item in a pocket or purse. Some of his spiritual children reported that he recommended occasionally touching the medal throughout the day as a mindful reconnection to its protective purpose. This awareness transforms the medal from a passive talisman into an active reminder of divine protection and our own spiritual vigilance. If you have a St. Benedict medal, consider Padre Pio's guidance on placement and use. Whether in your home or carried with you, let it become not just a possession, but a practice, a tangible connection to the spiritual protection that faith provides. Now we come to what Padre Pio considered the most profound truth about the saint. Benedict medal, a revelation that transforms our understanding of its purpose and power. This insight goes beyond techniques of use and touches the very heart of Christian spirituality. The medal's deepest purpose, Padre Pio would say with great conviction, is not merely protection against evil, but transformation into Christ. This statement often surprised those who came to him seeking only a shield against negative forces. Yet Padre Pio insisted that viewing the medal solely as spiritual protection missed its ultimate significance. At its core, the St. Benedict medal is an extension of the cross of Christ. Look closely at the medal. At its center stands not just the figure of St. Benedict, but the cross he holds. The letters, prayers, and symbols all point to the victory of Christ over evil. Saint Benedict himself conquered temptation and spiritual attack, not through his own power, but through his profound union with Christ. According to Padre Pio, when we use the medal with this understanding, something remarkable happens. Rather than just creating a barrier against evil, the medal becomes a channel through which we participate in Christ's victory. The focus shifts from fear of evil to confidence in divine power. Many come seeking protection because they are afraid, Padre Pio observed, and they leave realizing that true spiritual safety comes not from fear but from love, the same divine love that conquered death itself. Father Dominic, who studied under Padre Pio, recalled how the saint would gently correct those who became overly focused on negative spiritual forces. Padre Pio would take their hand holding the medal and say, "Look at what is inscribed here, not Satan's defeat, but Christ's victory. That is where your eyes should remain fixed." This perspective transforms how we engage with the medal. Instead of an anxious dependence on an object for protection, we develop a relationship with the spiritual reality it represents. The medal becomes less about what we're protecting against and more about who we're connecting with. Maria Elena, experienced this shift firsthand. I had been using the medal out of fear, constantly worried about negative energies. After learning Padre Pio's teaching, I began to see it as a reminder of Christ's presence and victory. This completely changed my spiritual life, from one dominated by fear to one characterized by trust. This is perhaps the most radical of Padre Pio's revelations about the medal, that its highest use is not as a supernatural security system, but as a daily reminder of our participation in divine life. When used this way, the medal doesn't just protect our current state, it helps transform us into more faithful, loving, and Christ-centered people. The next time you hold your Saint Benedict medal, try this practice inspired by Padre Pio's teaching. Rather than focusing on what you're being protected from, meditate on what you're being invited into, a share in Christ's victory, Saint Benedict's steadfastness, and the Church's continuing mission of bringing light into darkness. As we come to the end of our journey through Padre Pio's profound warnings about the Saint Benedict medal, let us reflect on what we've discovered together. We've learned that this ancient sacramental is far more than a mere trinket or passive charm. It's a powerful instrument of faith when properly blessed, understood, and used with sincere devotion. Padre Pio's wisdom reminds us that in matters of spiritual protection, the external object and our internal disposition must work in harmony. A blessed medal, understood in its rich symbolism, placed thoughtfully in our homes and carried with faithful awareness, becomes a powerful channel of divine grace. But perhaps most importantly, we've uncovered the profound truth that the medal's ultimate purpose extends beyond protection. It serves as a daily reminder that we are called not to live in fear of darkness, but to participate in Christ's victory over it. Like Saint Benedict himself, we are invited to stand firm in faith, holding the cross as our most powerful weapon against all forms of spiritual adversity. Take a moment now to consider your own relationship with this sacred object. Has your understanding of the Saint Benedict medal changed through what you've learned today? Perhaps you've realized that your medal needs to be properly blessed, or that you've been approaching it with incomplete understanding. Maybe you recognize that you've been using it more as a superstitious object rather than as an expression of living faith. Whatever insights you've gained, I encourage you to take action today. If you have a Saint Benedict medal that hasn't been blessed, make arrangements with a priest to have it blessed. If you haven't understood its inscriptions, commit to learning them. If you've kept it tucked away, consider placing it thoughtfully in your home, according to Padre Pio's guidance. If today's message has touched your heart or helped you understand this powerful sacramental better, please write in the comments. Thank you, Padre Pio, for this wisdom. Your comment not only expresses gratitude, but helps this important message reach others who may need it. Remember the words Padre Pio often shared with those who sought his guidance. Pray, hope, and don't worry. With proper understanding and use of the Saint Benedict medal, we have one more reason to embrace this threefold path. We pray with the powerful prayers inscribed on the medal. We hope in the protection and grace it channels, and we need not worry, knowing we are under divine care. May Saint Benedict intercede for you. May Padre Pio's wisdom guide you, and may the cross of Christ always be your light and protection.